Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an exciting event for you today. You notice I said event and not tea. That's because we are continuing our month-long special of featuring teaware rather than doing a focus on an actual tea. Now for today's, I have a bit of a brand new setup. Well, temporary setup. As you can see, this is kind of raised. This is because this is so you can see the setup a little bit better. Right now, however, I have to make sure that I can see the chat. So let me just hoping that. Yeah, I'm live. I see myself. That's strange. Just keep refreshing. Hey Ma, welcome. Yeah, you see, I'm live. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to be doing a feature on teaware this month, and today's day is a Gaiwan. Now, a Gaiwan comes in 3 different pieces. You have the teacup, you have the spout, and you have the lid. So this is actually set up traditionally the way that you would normally serve somebody a Gaiwan set. And now for this particular setup, we're doing one of my favorites, a little bit of a block pu'er. It's very, very cooked. And this is generally what a pu'er is, what a Gaiwan is used for. It's used for 1 cup per serving, but you steep it multiple times. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be steeping this only 15 seconds at a time. And so it's going to be continually steeped, then poured out and drank. And you'll see the demonstration of how it's done. Now there are a couple ways that you can do it. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. Oh no, that's too much. There we go. It's good enough. This is so my friends at what's this channel called? Twitch. My friends on Twitch can see it a little bit better. I'm having a little bit of difficulty setting up because everything is a little bit raised. Everything's a little bit more inconvenient, but I mean it's working as far as I can tell. So wonderful. As I mentioned, this is going to be a cake pu'er. Hey Teresa, welcome. And as you can see, it's a dried pu'er in a little cube. And this is highly oxidized and aged. And the way that it works is as you steep it, it'll open up more and more, and then like the brew itself will be stronger and stronger. So it won't reach its full potential until around maybe the 4th or 5th, maybe even the 6th one. So let's go ahead. Now that the water is ready, I have my timer on for 15 seconds, and we can go now. So you want to fill it close to the teeth, but not quite on the teeth. And now I have 4, 3, 2, 1. That was fast. That was steep number 1, and it's going to be like that. Throughout the whole. It's going to be that fast each time. So you notice that when I decant the tea, I leave it over here. This is the professional way of doing it, where you rest it on the teacup and let it pour out. And you want to have it slightly tilted forward so that all the water comes forth. Now you'll see that was a very, very quick steep. And of course it's going to be just 1 small cup, so you're going to want to keep drinking it over and over and over again. So you can tell on that first steep, I'll just move my fingers over, you can tell on the first steep that the brew is The liqueur is yellow. Hey, Sneha, welcome. The brew is still a little bit yellow, a little pinkish. That's because this was a very very quick steep, and you're not going to get a whole lot out of it the first time around. So we're going to go ahead and try that first brew now. And right now, the flavor is very, very light. It's a little bit peachy. There's a certain depth to it that it doesn't look like it should have, but it does. This is a dark tea, so it's always going to have a little bit of a pungency to it. However, there's a kind of, it's sweet and a little bit popcorny. You know, it's got like that popcorn kernel kind of taste to it. And I'm getting like a nice, smooth, velvety kind of texture to it. I'm normally not a fan of like the first couple steeps. I like to have that really hard, strong flavor, but this is really nice. Now you can do it 15 to 30 seconds at a time. Normally I do it at a 30-second steep just to speed up the process. But I'm slowing it down for you guys today because this is the more traditional way to do it. So that's very delicious. I'm getting a nice, savory, slightly salty but not quite flavor to it. It's a little bit buttery. I really like it. I'm not used to drinking my pu'ers this light, but there is a certain benefit that I think I've been overlooking all this time, and it's giving me a good warm up to what's coming. So for those of you who've never had a pu'er or a cooked pu'er like this. Generally, you're going to get a nice, muddy, mushroomy, earthy flavor to it. Something that's kind of smoky and minerally. Something that's a little bit slightly salted. But we're going to work our way up to it. And because we're doing this at 15-second steeps, you can see traditionally, this is the way it's served, where you sit around a table and you just keep pouring and drinking 15 seconds at a time. And you know, it's usually done as like a social event. And it's really nice. It's really good to just sit around and just drink tea and chat with friends. And I've done it maybe once or twice, but I'd like to do it more often. Because that kind of a get together, you get that experience sharing with others, and it's something that today's culture doesn't really have, where you just sit around and talk. There's always like some electronics or music or something like this. Is nice and low tech, and just have a little bit of fun. Time for its second steep. And as you can see, it's still pretty much in that same form. It's just a cube. It hasn't broken up yet. Eventually it will. So let's go ahead and get this thing ready for steep 2. Now, as you'll notice, I start the timer at the exact same time I start pouring. That is to get the most accurate 15-second steep on there. Now, normally I can do this one-handed, but because this is an elevated platform, I want to be safe and do it with 2 hands I could probably do it with one, but I'd rather be safe and not drop it. There's a big difference between serving it down here and serving it up here. It's a little bit awkward, but I don't know. Maybe for the next one I'll try it. So as you can see with the second steep, it's a lot darker. So more liqueur has been, more of the tea has been released, and so we're going to be getting a bit of a darker flavor, a bit more savory. Now this is still not its full potential. Like I said, it'll take maybe up to 4 or 5 steeps to get there, but when you do, it's that really nice smokiness that I enjoy when I serve a pu'er. This one has a really, this is a huge leap. Right now I'm not getting that sweet peachy flavor that I was talking about before. This is more of a woody, earthy, mineral kind of flavor to it. It's heavier, a little bit muddy, then that's not necessarily a bad thing. Usually when people talk about mud, it's all dirty and disgusting, and you have that negative connotation to it. But in this case, it's nice and smooth. It's not astringent at all, which is because of the shape and the processing that the leaf goes through. It's really strong. It's really difficult to oversteep and get astringency. However, you trade that off for a really strong flavor. This is not something I'd recommend for people who prefer lighter tasting teas. This is something that you either love it or hate it, or you'll have to work your way up to appreciating it. But once you do, you'll realize that this is a whole new flavor profile that's unique in its own way, and you can't really get it anywhere else. Oh, that's delicious. And I really love to serve people cooked pu'er, as a kind of a sign to see where they're at on their palate. I have served cooked pu'ers as strong as this, even this particular one, to people who were just curious, and it's fun to discuss it, because this isn't the kind of taste you find just anywhere. You get a good experience, but it gets people talking, and that's particularly why I enjoy doing it, because it's not only just testing their metal, but also testing, figuring out where they are on the spectrum. Whether you love it, you hate it, somewhere in between. If you can appreciate it, that's that sweet spot where you're open to try it some more. Now, I know people who I've served them pu'er, and they have to sweeten it, and that's fine. To each their own. I recommend not sweetening it at first, just to get to that point where you can appreciate it and find the goodness in it. But you can break it down, sweeten it, put some milk in it. It's however you like. And I also love this kind of tea experience, because normally when I'm talking to you guys, I have to put it down and I have to put it down and like just talk and ignore the tea. But because we're doing this at 15 seconds, I have to keep on trying it and drinking more. And this is more what I do when I drink pu'er and just tea in general. I drink, I do what I'm doing, drink, do what I'm doing, and like this is more what I'm comfortable with. So I don't have to sit and figure out what I'm going to say next for longer stretches at a time because this is only short teas, and it's a very quick process. But because it's continual, you can do this for hours at a time. This is what it's meant for. Let's set up. Oh wait, before I do, you'll see it's breaking down. So the tea itself has already lost its I'd say 90% of the shape has been lost and the flavors are loose, but it's still a little bit edgy on the side. So in the next steep, we're going to lose it completely. So I have kettle in one hand, timer in the other, and go. There we go. Oh, you can see there's going to be a big difference on the next cup. There we go. And it's also okay to be a little bit messy with the Gaiwan, because you are dealing with a hot cup, and it's gonna spill. So it's great to have a bamboo tray like this to serve it on. That way, it catches all the excess tea. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, this is what I bought it for, so that I can do demonstrations like this and not have to worry about making a mess all over the place. Oh, but now, this is the good stuff. Look at how dark that brew is. It's a very brothy, it's a very brothy looking cup, where it's not like black coffee. It's more of like a beef broth where it's still dark brown, but it looks brown. It's not black yet. I'll probably get that black color on the next steep. Right now, there's still, if you put the light in it, you'll see a nice glow of red in there, and that means that it's darker than before, but it hasn't reached its full potential. On the next one, I'm pretty sure it's going to be completely black. Now, right now, it's sitting on my tongue, and it's got like a really strong, earthy, mineral kind of flavor to it. There's a little bit of a pungency to it as well. That's more akin to like mushroom. And it's got a certain kind of heaviness to it as well. You can taste you can taste the brew in itself, and it just like sits on your tongue. The mouthfeel is kind of thick and heavy, and that's going to come. It's going to increase more as the tea itself gets stronger and blacker. Now, it's almost to the point that I love to drink this, where it's that really heavy, strong, black, makes you go, kind of flavor behind it. And, like, this house is smelling of rice? Really? Rice? I mean, I can see that long distance, because there's about, I want to say 30 feet between us. And so it's like right now it smells earthy to me. It smells mushroomy. It's a really strong flavor, but 30 feet away you can smell it, but it's going to be lighter. It's going to be less concentrated. So I can see that it's going to smell like rice, but it's got like that really sweet kind of sent to it until it stops. Like at the end, it's going to be very strong and muddy, and really, really like minerally earthy. Sometimes you get smoky, sometimes not. Hey Zam, welcome. Sometimes you don't. You get that smokiness, but it's never too. It's not going to be really offensive. It can easily get offensive, but when it's done right, it's a-okay, you know. Okay, guys, I'm going to open up the floor for questions and answers and anything you want to talk about. Now's the time. This is a porcelain Gaiwan. This is actually what they use for what's the word? Not tastings. Cuppings. This is what's used for cuppings, and cuppings are different from tastings. Tastings are something to sample so that you drink, you see what you like, and you shop for there or you explore from there. But cupping is a method of tea drinking where you see how strong it can get. Oh, excuse me. You attempt to pull it out at its worst and say, okay, so if I'm a tea shop owner and I want to sell a tea, knowing that there's going to be customers who don't know what they're doing, I want to see how bad the flavor can get so that it may be still salvageable. Like the guys come back and say, hey, this tea tastes awful. And I can say, okay, well, did you oversteep it? And they said, I don't know, what's that? So you explain what oversteeping is, but it's better than having something that's so terrible that they don't even want to see your face again, kind of a thing. So you want to stay clear of those teas that are just low quality, and if you mess it up, that's it. You know, nobody's coming back to your shop. But if you have something that's at its worst is not bad, then that's the kind of area that you want to stay in. And so that's what these are used for. You can tell that it's a white set, and this is for good reason. You want to do your cupping in a nice bright room so that you can see what the tea looks like as you're drinking it. Is it going to be super dark? Is it going to be super light? You'll get to check out the colors behind it. If it's a green tea, how green is it versus yellow versus orange? Because some green teas can get orange depending on what's in them. So you want a good observation of what you're drinking so that if you have other people who are drinking and seeing the same thing at home, you understand what it is that they're experiencing so you can help them out. You don't do cuppings in colored teacups or colored Gaiwans, because then that takes away from the experience and you're not going to be able to give an accurate portrayal of what it is you're drinking. Oh, that's nice. Okay, got one more steep. This is the fourth one. This is going to be the Golden Twilight steep. So here we go. Ready? Go. Woo. I'm thinking maybe I should have reheated the water at this time. It looks like it's still hot. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah, it's still hot, so we're going to get a good steep out of this one. Maybe not as good if I had reheated the water. If I have time, yeah, I have 5 minutes. If I have time, I'll try it again. Let me start the water just in case. Even still, It is slightly darker. It's not as dark as I thought I would get. You can still see the bottom. Ideally, if I got a good steep out of this, I wouldn't be able to see the bottom at all. That would be like that really dark black color liquid that I was referring to before. But you can still see it's kind of like getting closer to that coffee flavor. It is still hot, so that's good. I'm going to see if I can drink this a little bit faster than the previous one, so it'll give me more time for that one last cup that I'm really trying to get. Right now, it's like a little bit soupy, a little bit salty, but really nice. Sorry, I'm hurrying up a little bit because I don't want to miss out on that last steep. I have 4 minutes. I mean, if I wind up going over, it's not the end of the world, but, you know. Oh, I just love that flavor. Right now, it's crossing over from that earthiness to like that soupiness that I was talking about. It's a little bit salty, a little bit mushroomy, but it's still really nice. I want to get out of that brothiness and that really heavy, muddy, pungent, dirty kind of taste to it. And I know I'm not making it sound very appetizing, but trust me, it's really good. And you can feel the heaviness of the liqueur getting heavier on your tongue. That's really, really nice right now. And also keep giving me questions. I love questions. Okay, here we go. This is the Golden Twilight Hour Part 2. There we go. I can see it now. I can see the difference. Yeah, this is going to be the steep that I was waiting for. Oh, it's burning my fingers. Aw. It's not as strong. I think that I should have done it for maybe a 30-second steep for it, but you know, I mean, like for all intents and purposes, we're trying to spotlight the Gaiwan, not the tea. So I was just trying to do a little side quest there. But it didn't quite go the way I wanted. You can still see it's slightly deeper, but you can still see the bottom. So I'm going to try probably after I let you guys go. I'm going to drink this as a 30-second steep on the next one. So just for my own personal edification. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that I look for in a pu'er. Now it's crossing over from brothy to earthy. Right now I feel it tastes a little bit more woody than it did before. Has that pungency, a little bit of salty mushroom. It's closer to what I was trying to go for. Didn't quite make it, but you know what? This is why you sit here for hours and talking and drinking and steeping and like doing what you gotta do, because this is the kind of thing. This is how you get to where you need to go. Ooh, excuse me. I think I need to wash that down a little bit. I always loved pu'er, even from the first one that I drank. And it's been like my love for pu'er has not changed. Like sometimes, you just get sick of something, but this is really nice. And I'm always happy to share it with others and gauge their responses to see how they like it. Yeah, like this is the kind of thing that I look for in a nice strong pu'er. So that being said, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. This has been a wonderful demonstration. I had a really great time, and until next time, have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.